Raise your hand if you like dinosaurs. All right. Okay, put your hand down. Raise your hand if you've ever been to the Museum of Nature and Science. Okay. Well, since we can't go there, this book is about some kids that go on a field trip to there. And this is called The Dinosaur Expert. And it's written by Margaret McNamara and illustrated by G. Brian Karras. Kimmy collected things so she could study them. She collected rocks and shells and leaves and pebbles and feathers. She even collected owl pellets, and she took them apart. But of all the things Kimmy collected, fossils were her favorite. That's why Kimmy was happy that Mr. Tiffin's class was at the Natural History Museum for a dinosaur field trip. She had been there many times. She knew so much about dinosaurs. She couldn't wait to share. Whoa, said Alex as soon as they walked into the first room. Dinosaur fight. Kimmy stepped forward. The big one is a Barosaurus, she said. She's a plant eater. And the small, fierce one is an Allosaurus. The Allosaurus can move fast, but the Barosaurus has a super powerful tail, continued Kimmy. She'd use it to protect her baby. You know a lot about dinosaurs, said Jake. I love fossils, Kimmy said. I want to be a scientist when I grow up. Girls aren't scientists, Jake said, and Kimmy stopped talking. In the next room, there were big photographs of old-fashioned people. Some of them were out in the desert. Some of them were standing with dinosaur bones. Does anyone know what a dinosaur scientist is called? Asked Mr. Tiffin. Kimmy knew. A paleontologist, said Eleanor. Right, said Mr. Tiffin. Paleontologists study fossils. These pictures show paleontologists from long ago. Dinosaur scientists are still looking for dinosaur fossils nowadays all over the world. Kimmy studied the photographs. She read the fossil hunters' names out loud. Edward Drinker Cope, Earl Douglas, O.C. March. See, said Jake. The next room was Kimmy's favorite. Every case had a different set of dinosaur bones. She knew which ones were from the Jurassic period when dinosaurs first walked the earth, and which were from the Jurassic period, the age of the giant dinosaurs, and which were from the Cretaceous period, when dinosaurs shared the planet with so many new species of mammals and insects and birds and flowering plants. Mr. Tiffin led the class to a plaster cast of a tiny dinosaur skeleton. Kimmy knew what it was right away. Archaeopteryx, she whispered. Jurassic. This is an Archaeopteryx from the Jurassic period, Mr. Tiffin said. Look at that skeleton. Does it remind you of anything? Kimmy wanted to tell the class that this dinosaur was a relative of a bird. She wanted to say that birds and dinosaurs are related and that some dinosaurs even had feathers. She put her hand up. Looks like a dancing rabbit, Molly shouted. With a monkey tail, called Jake. Everybody laughed. Kimmy put her hand down. Jake ran ahead to the next room. Check this out, he called. It was a special exhibit. This is the biggest dinosaur ever, said Robert. A titanosaur. It doesn't even fit in the room, said Alex. Kimmy, said Mr. Tiffin, you might want to see this. Kimmy went over and took a look. There was a dinosaur she had never seen before, called a Gasparinisaura. She read all about it. And then she saw the photos of Dr. Brandoni di Gasparini. Kimmy smiled wide. I thought you'd like her, said Mr. Tiffin. One picture showed Dr. Brandon D. Gasparini hunting for fossils. Fossil hunting is a dusty business, said Mr. Tiffin. I love dust, said Kimmy. There was another photo of Dr. Brandoni D. Gasparini with test tubes, and one of the doctor winning an award. Awesome, said Jake. Really awesome, said Kimmy. She is so cool. In the next 3 rooms, Kimmy kept talking. She told the class a lot. This guy's brain was tiny. People used to think it must have had another brain hiding somewhere to control such a big body, she said, but it only had one. These look like raptor toes, said Kimmy. Some raptors needed 3 toes and others only used 2. Interesting, said Molly. Finger bones are interesting too, Kimmy said. Earlier raptors had 5 fingers and later raptors had 3. How come? Asked Jake. They evolved, Kimmy said. They kept what they needed and changed what they didn't. We're always evolving, said Mr. Tiffin. That's a dinosaur mummy, said Kimmy. It was preserved for 65 million years before anybody found it. You can even see its skin. You can make these dinos sound so real, said Jeremy. It's almost like they're alive, said Anna. Imagine what that field trip would be like, said Mr. Tiffin. Okay, class, back to reality, said Mr. Tiffin. Time to head home. As the class took a last look at the dinosaurs, Kimmy turned to Mr. Tiffin. That dinosaur was amazing, she said, but I like the one named for Dr. Brandoni D. Gasparini best. Me too, said Mr. Tiffin. When I grow up, I want to be just like her, Kimmy said. I think, said Mr. Tiffin, you already are. And then in the back of this book, even though this is a made-up story, the author in the back wrote a little paragraph about real female paleontologists. There's Mary Awning, Karen Chin. Oh, I can't pronounce this one. But then there's a picture of a little girl, and I was like, what is this? And her name is Daisy Morris, and she started looking for fossils when she was just 3 years old. Then when she was 4, she found an important fossil on the beach near her home on the Isle of Wight in England. It was part of a new species of pterosaur. 4 years after her discovery, the new dino was named in Daisy's honor. Its official name is Vetidictraco daisymosaurusae. That is so cool. So even a 4-year-old is a dinosaur expert. So if you like dinosaurs, you might want to check this book out next year. I still need to put a label on it and everything. So why do you think, was that a very nice thing? I hope you agree. That was not a very nice thing to Jake to tell her that girls can't be scientists. I hope that you all know that that's not true. And what do you think gave her, because at the first she didn't want to raise her hand, and then what changed her mind? What made Kimmy start talking? Because at first, after Jake said girls can't be scientists, and then what happened in the book that changed her mind and encouraged her to start talking about dinosaurs? You can unmute yourself if you know the answer. What happened in the book that gave her confidence? Anyone? You can unmute yourself if you know the answer. Anyone? Come on. Because she was so excited for the field trip. And then Jake said something that was mean, that girls can't be scientists, and then that made Kimmy not want to talk. But then something happened that Mr. Tipkin showed her. What did he show her that gave her confidence to start talking again about dinosaurs? Hello? Juliet, you know. Unmute yourself and tell me.
I think Marina's raising her hand.
Oh, Marina is? I don't see Marina. Okay, unmute yourself. I can't see everybody. So if you know the answer, just unmute yourself and say it. Marina?
Mr. The teacher showed her that big dinosaur.
Right, but he also showed her another sign because remember Jake said girls can't be scientists, but then her teacher showed her a sign about there was a dinosaur that was named after a scientist named Dr. Brandoni di Gasparini, and that was a female paleontologist. So after he showed her that girls can be paleontologists, that's when she said, oh, okay, then I'm going to tell people what I know about dinosaurs, which was a lot. Anybody else want to share something about this book?
My brother loves dinosaurs. And
Does
he's
he?
really raving right now.
Yeah! Have you been to the museum to see the dinosaur skeletons?
No.
Oh, you need to, when they open back up, you need to go take a trip down there because it's really amazing to see how big they are.
Cool.
Anybody else? Go ahead and unmute yourself because I can't see everybody's hand. Anybody want to share something? Everybody's being so shy today. Why is that? These can't be STOT students that are so shy. Anybody want to share what they like the best about the book?
Put some more. Don't be shy.
Anyone? All right. Well.
Sorry about that. That was my brother.
Oh, that's all right.
He slept over at a museum once for a field trip.
Oh, that would be way cool. Which museum was it?
The dinosaur, he says.
The dinosaur one? Okay. Okay, so I did record this. So if you talk to any of your friends and they missed it and they couldn't log in for some reason, I will put the recording on the library website. Don't forget.
My brother came.
What?
My brother came this time.
Oh, good. I'm glad you brought. So, here's a couple of announcements. So, Race to Read finished. So make sure adult in your house gets on the library website and clicks on the link to report how many color sheets you completed. And then I can put the prizes together and get the prizes to you.
When are you gonna post it on YouTube or something?
What, the story I just read?
Yeah, because you're recording it.
I think as soon as we're done here, I'll start uploading it. Sometimes it takes a while.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And I'll put the link on the library website. But it also will be on my YouTube channel. Okay? Also, another announcement is we have our Scholastic Book Fair going on right now online. And if you need the link to that, go to the library website. There's the link and you can shop online for any books you might need from the book fair. I was really disappointed we couldn't have a book fair in person, but this is the next best thing. Yeah. Well, I'm glad to see your smiling faces, and I hope you can see the pictures okay. And I will see you next week. I have 2 locations today, so next week it'll be a little clearer if it was blurry today. So next week we'll be back to clearer internet.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me and have an awesome day. Enjoy the sunshine.
What?
Bye. Wait.
Bye. Did you have a question, Juliet? She left.
Bye.
Bye.